right, all right. So we made it within the 5-minute window, but I still feel late. I was supposed to be here at 11:10. In any event, let's see if we're even on. I'm sitting there being presumptuous. Are we even on? I chased away a fly or something, whatever the hell it was. Okay, we got 1. We got 2. We got 3. So I'm going to ask a question I already know the answer to. That's are we live? I said, are we live? Looks like we are. Vigilante Williamson here on the 185th episode of VW Casual. Hey, a Cinch Your Dildo appearance. A wild Cinch Your Dildo appearance. Appreciate you being here. A lot going on this week. Closing the house this week. So Friday, and then, the next month after that is going to be kind of hectic as far as moving and getting everything situated. And then these shows will be, the plan is to appear on camera. If I get, even though the camera actually crapped out when I last tried to use it, and start to take these shows a little, I don't know if more seriously is the right word, but at least do more cameras, try to have a little bit of a set going on, which I did with this place. But so yeah, so that's the hope. And then hopefully we'll have new music out next month, which y'all already heard. Y'all always hear, but hopefully I'm gonna finish a video this night. We'll see. Speed running the slavery. Yeah. Trust me, that's in the back of my head, the idea that buying houses and buying a house in America, the fact that I still have to pay taxes on it, how bad the taxes are, all of that. The house is in the Houston area. We'll just call it the Houston area. It's not in Houston, though. It's a decent ways outside of Houston. It's in the burbs. It's in the burbs. We're still in Houston. We're gonna stay in the Houston, the city state that is Houston. So it's still in that greater Houston area. But yeah, and we'll see how big. Like 2,000 square feet. It's 2 stories. So we'll see. It's more than enough space. Bro, hey Brandon Holland, did you go out for spring break? I would, I've only guessed your nationality. I would guess. Maybe not, but good Lord, bro. I didn't go nowhere. You did? Oh shit. Man, all I saw was shit on my Instagram about either the rodeo or spring break. I'm too old for that shit, man. I'm too old for that shit. Shout out to everybody. Listen, so a lot of people, you was in these streets. You was out here in these streets. I see, man. I'm too old for that shit. A lot of motherfuckers was out there. It seemed lit. Like if you just don't give a fuck and you want to be lit, this past weekend and week was the place. Houston was the place to be. They said 2 million people, plus there's already 8 million people in the general Houston area. Chicks in plexiglass boxes shaking ass by your windshield. Wild. Grown as hell talking about spring break. 2 million extra motherfuckers on top of the 8 million motherfuckers that are already in the general area. And granted, listen, it's the state of Connecticut. The Houston metro area is the size of the state of Connecticut. So it's down near the state. Down there, that's what I call it, city state. But an extra 2 million motherfuckers all here. You see some of the shit. I sent you some of that shit, these crazy house parties. 2 million on top of the 8. There's 8. Naturally, it's 7.8. I'm just rounding up to 8 million in the Houston metro area. Another allegedly 2 million showed up for spring break and this shit. They call it the rodeo. I've wanted to go to the rodeo. It's too packed, man. And that's kind of the one issue with Houston as a thing. I do like sometimes going. It can also be fun as fuck. I've gone out. But it's like, it's a lot. Yeah, the rodeo. That's what it looked like. Whole country about 4 million. Yeah, this is crazy. I've never been in a city nowhere this big. Detroit, the city is about probably like 500,000 to 700,000, and then the metro area probably 2 million. depending on how wide you want to consider the metro area, probably about 2 million. That's a guesstimate. I'm sure if I look it up, I can look it up with Google. But Houston is something else. They shut the rodeo down early. I'm not surprised. Hey, Fizz, Houston's his own planet. I've never even thought like I've been to Miami, and Miami's his own planet too. Certain cities are their own planet. New York is his own planet. Chicago is his own planet. LA's his own planet. Yeah, other cities like Detroit and smaller cities. But when I say they're their own planet, it's not just how different they are. It's like there's a whole. It's like its own country, own planet for real. Like you can live only in this area and never experience everything there is to experience about that area because it's so many people. It's such a wide area. It's so much, and Houston's just a ton. Let me see what the Detroit metro area is. And Detroit's still like a top 10-ish metro population. It's still like a top 10, 15 area. We talk about the metro area. Oh, 4. Wow, it's 4 million in the metro area. It's the 14th largest. The city proper has 600,000. I guess, so wow, I didn't know. But they are going out Lapeer and living. I would think of Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb as the metro area person. I'm looking at the Google AI analysis. Lapeer doesn't seem to be the metro area. That's more like Flint metro area. And same with St. Clair. Is Livingston, I think. Livingston and Washington, maybe. But I don't know. So that's true. But Houston, I'm scared to search because it's going to probably dox me. So go back off the screen. Well, Houston metro area. Of course, they asked by race. What do you think? Houston metro area population is approximately 7.8 million, fifth most populous metro area in the United States. The Houston proper is like 2 million. Fifth most populous. So it's New York, LA, Chicago, and Dallas. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Texas. Has 2 of the top 5 most populous place in the country. I still haven't gone to Dallas. Still have not gone. Yeah. The Hodeo. Detroit about the same as your city, about 800K, but the whole metro area about 1.2 million. Yeah, apparently I was off. I didn't realize. But I think they considering stuff that no one would consider the metro. I don't think no one would consider St. Clair County, Lapeer County. Livingston, let me see what Livingston County is. I'm like, is that Livingston's right outside, I think. Livingston County, Michigan. No, it's actually shit. Livingston, it's not that. Guess it's not. Yeah, I guess Whitmore Lake. Just now I'm looking at it, but some of the other stuff I wouldn't consider it in Salem. I consider that kind of further out. So I really wouldn't consider 3 of those counties to be the metro area. Whatever. I don't make these rules. People setting up their own parties and festivals. That's what I saw. City proper is less than. Yeah, the proper cities is less than yours. That's crazy. You said 800,000. This is a little less, 600,000. I'm not shocked. A lot of people don't like being in Detroit, but people will like live right outside of it. Which I don't know. Been pulling your hair out, trying to complete a mission in XCOM, second hardest difficulty. Good luck. New Nico Harrison shirt. Y'all got the space for sprawl. We don't, luckily. Shit, it is St. Patty's Day. Man, some people's livers are going through it. Some people's livers over between you add tomorrow and a week back will really have gone through it in the Houston metro area to go from. Some people doing the whole thing. Shit, Brandon Holland might have be one of those people. Shit, do all the fucking Hodeo parties, do the Hodeo itself, do all these different random spring break parties where it's like literally thousands of motherfuckers at the house. I was like, hell no, man. I'm too old for this shit. I don't want to be the old man and get off my lawn, but goddamn, it's just too many motherfuckers, man. Pink House going crazy. Shit, man, it's just too much. XCOM be a great game on stream. Maybe I'll try to play. I do want to start back playing more games on stream. And speaking of which, sorry about not streaming yesterday. I hate not streaming on Sunday. I want to keep that day consistent. So this is kind of a makeup. But let me see. Pink House Houston. I've heard of it, and I'm looking that up. See, I'm not a big club party guy. I mean, I do need to go out a little bit more than I do. But, and, you know, Houston is, you know, one of the cities to have a nightlife. I've seen you play XCOM before. I think so. I think I've seen one of your videos. I think I've seen it. Some media was doing a breakdown of Spring Break, making it sound crazy. It looked kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie. Just looking at just people, the shit people was posting, it just looked like it was too many motherfucking people. It was just too many motherfucking people. So many motherfucking people. Like, it was this one house party. It's Mr. A. Let me see if I can get on my not the Insta scam. I don't want to show the messages because Lord knows. Let me see if I can find some of those memes. Or not me. I think it's all me. These reels. There was a lot of reels I saw. Let me see if I can just search it. Search rodeo or spring break or Houston or something. Let me see. Because it just was like, goodness gracious, man. I don't know, man. But hey, as long as people have fun, didn't get fucked up, that's a positive. If you did get fucked up, then somebody, get the food out. The fuck? Can I edit this? I hate dealing with technology. All right. Just fucking smell. Jesus Christ. Sorry, y'all don't even see me trying to put this damn thing in on the thing. Let's just go here. And happy Pi Day to everyone who cared. But here's the Houston Rodeo. Just too many people for me, man. That saxophone. They look like a lot of little kids though. Looking at this. Bunch of 14-year-old fight. I mean, that's. Come on, I don't really give a shit about that. Hey, I just like, I can't enjoy myself.
We should ride slangers and put diamonds in our niggas.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna enjoy myself in this. Oh my goodness, usual suspect. Shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of that.
Bitch, I'm from Texas, where we should ride slangers and put diamonds in our niggas.
You just blame, and nothing happening. Jesus, just blame. Just blame. All right. But that fight looked like it was a lot of kids.
There's a little bit of it's starting to get taken over. Like I said, I always thought of it as a Houston event, and it's cool that people come from other places, but it feels like, look, if I can't get in there comfortably like we used to be able to do,
packed.
you know, it's
this the first
super
weekend.
packed. I'm like, wait, who are all these people, man?
Has the Houston livestock show and rodeo gotten too big for Houston?
A lot of out of town people come through, and that's cool, you know.
Gang of them.
We like the visitors. It used to kind of have more of a Houston feel. Like when we were kids, you would talk to somebody about the rodeo, and they didn't even really know. But now it's like a nationwide event. People come from all other states to Houston for the rodeo.
Born and raised in Houston, went to the rodeo for years. But has it lost its
Houston identity?
Has it lost its culture from the Houston? I think people come and they experience our culture of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Some of the clothing is a bit different. I'm not judging. So I say this. Come to Houston, enjoy yourself, enjoy the culture, but understand, this is ours.
There's a little bit.
Okay, I just figured out there's some Houstonian old heads and even, some, I'm not trying to judge, but I'm guessing the LGBTQ plus community. No disrespect. I just wanted to see, their perspective of it. I've only been here, now this is going on my 4th year. Around the time I close, it'll be around the 4th year. It'll be like a week before. I got here in 22. So I'm about to be 4 years into Houston. I still consider myself a transplant. I don't know about this rodeo, man. I don't remember even hearing about it until I moved here, and now it's like this international thing, and it's just too many people. I don't see how I'm gonna enjoy myself. Yeah, that's Boys in the Hood. Yeah, that's become a meme. And yeah, so rodeo, a transplant, trans man. Jesus Christ, you worse than Diddy Booty Jackson. In his fucking chat where they just and I'm calling them that Rampage. Like I want beef with Rampage. Then people cry FC when they get kidnapped. I mean, godly. And I heard they are kidnapping motherfuckers out here too. Especially these ladies. They putting first off, you got air tags. You got putting little drugs on the door. So you open the door and then you pass out, somebody grab you. No, that's not what this is, y'all killing me. But all disrespect. Y'all know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, this is, Houston already had a trafficking culture before this. And another thing Houston got, a lot of massage parlors. That's, if you look at, no wonder the damn quarterback, Deshaun Watson was out here tricking so much on these hoes. It's like those motherfuckers are everywhere. And no, I'm not going to these damn massage parlors. Do not put that shit on me. But there's a lot of those bitches. So Brandon House in the Houston area, way too many. And now that I already found the place, and actually it's further out from the city, but when I was looking for different places and kind of traveling a little bit, I ain't traveling around the whole city, but still at least more around this area, I was like, holy shit, every fucking 4 blocks. Like, I mean, in a certain area, like Houston and Texas has a thing, so you don't have liquor stores like that, right? I mean, you do have a decent amount, but not like you do in the Northeast or the Midwest where you can have a liquor store on any corner. But motherfucker, you can put a fucking, in any corner, all these massage parlor. God damn, you can put them bitches anywhere. Put anything anywhere. There's no zoning laws. There's no zoning laws in Houston. Shit. So you can put a fucking nuclear factory next to a massage parlor next to a house. Who no one gives a shit. Just the reason they had that damn blue house still. Is that shit still in downtown? It's been a little bit. It's like this fucking house that's just right near the stadiums. It's just a blue house, and I don't think anybody lives in it. Need 50. It's tons of massage parlors. If you trying to get your cheap freak off, I guess this is the place to do it. I can't do it, man. That's gross. Because you can just think how many massages these hoes giving off per day. Or just the Boys in the Hood thing. Saxophone. But yeah, that's become a meme now. Well, yeah, I want to call it Minute Maid. But it's Dyken. Yes, the death sax. Too many for the police to raid them. Clearly, which, by the way, I mean, I don't want to speak this into the existence, but I've noticed at least the past year or two, bro, not gonna. I don't want to interact with the police. Last time I got put over was last year, and I just don't want to get put over. But I see less and less in general. You like see them, like if you go out to a long enough trip, you'll see one or two. But it just seemed like when I first got here, you used to see police kind of everywhere. Now you really don't see them. Let me pull up to a random house party in a state I don't know anyone at, in a house I don't know anyone. I don't know who the owner is. Around hundreds of people I never met before. Such a great idea. I wish I could find that one. That's the one I sent to you. Let me see if I can find that one. That was crazy. I'm like, wait, okay. It's one thing to be at the rodeo, at some, these are official events. Obviously, they got out of control. But there were motherfuckers at just a house party. It's like, yo, I know y'all all don't know the owner because how the fuck could you? You know what I'm saying? And it's just dozens and dozens and dozens of motherfuckers at a goddamn house party. It's like, yeah. You're like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say nah. I'm going to go ahead and pass on that one. Shit, let me check that. Maybe I can find that. I don't know. It was just like, what in the fuck? Why are there so many people at a house party? But listen, if people enjoyed themselves and didn't get hurt, cool. I'm not as worried. I'm not trying to say fight no matter, but I looked at that little fight they had at the rodeo. Those kids look young as fuck. Maybe I'm getting old and those are like 20-year-olds and I just can't tell. They look like 14-year-olds. So I'm like, 14-year-olds getting into a fight. Middle school motherfuckers. I don't really give a fuck about that. They were just fighting. I didn't see nobody. This is also Texas, so there's a lot of guns out here. I ain't seen nobody get shot. Not saying it's it's okay, but I can't even find it. I'm trying to search Houston house party. Oh well. Yeah, clear all this fucking history. No one needs to see my search history. Is he even gonna let me search? Sheesh. I can't find it. It's a bunch of what's this? Okay, yeah, here's.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit, bro. I know you fucking lying. What the fuck? That's just one spot. Now we finna go to the fucking the gas station where Palmer was at. Look at this shit, bro. Hold on real quick, bro. Look at like, bro, take y'all motherfucking asses home. Shit. Like, bro.
Yeah,
is you fucking serious?
Like the Red Oilers had.
Y'all, look at this shit, bro. We finna just go on a tour.
It's a bit too much. I couldn't find the house party one, but I found that one. It's a bit too much, man. But hey, if everybody had fun, what the fuck? Fuck am I supposed to say? But that's Houston. But that is kind of that is the culture out here. The shit gets lit. So I ain't blaming the CIA. I can't really blame the CIA. I can blame them a little bit. But some of that's the autopilot. Saw a ton, yeah. They letting out killers with a warrant. They don't give a shit about no massage parlors. Yeah, I didn't go into the city this week, and then when I start seeing the memes, I'm like, I'm definitely not going in the goddamn city. I start seeing that shit, I ain't going nowhere. I want to go nowhere close to that motherfucker. Shit. But shout out to it. If you don't give a fuck, you had a little money to go to. I wouldn't be driving. If I do go there, I got to go find it. I got to get an Uber. I got to Uber around and terrorize that motherfucker. And I got to find the cheapest place to get lit. And then once I get lit, then I can do whatever the fuck I want. Grown ass adults, I don't know about all that. They're already pushing what's already there to some extent. At this point, for sure. But I'm still blaming them for the Little Brother shit back in the day. Little Brother and Common. And these artists being like #1 in the country. Sorry, as I'm trying to talk positive, I'm sitting there getting some weed. But not getting played on the radio and shit. And them kind of pushing the cultural narrative. Not that Common and Little Brother and all this shit was going to save anybody, but they definitely choose what to amplify and what to not amplify. Right? So, but you're right. There's a lot of this existing. But I mean, what we just saw, as much as it's like, oh boy, it's a bunch of... What happened? A few 13-year-olds got into a fight. I mean, a lot of bars made a lot of money. A lot of people got drunk. The world ain't in. It's too many motherfucking people. And good luck to them motherfuckers flying. You just talk about the TSA. Fuck. I've seen those. We can watch those. Let me see if I can find one of those. Y'all seen these airports recently? I think it was Austin was the one. Speaking of Texas, but I'm sure all these airports, I'm sure George Bush probably was not a fun place to be today or won't be fun throughout this week. Because, you know, everybody want to come down and party. Now y'all got to get the fuck back. Good luck. 300 agents quit. Okay, let's show this shit. Okay, the right thing.
Many travelers are suffering at the airport today as security wait times stretch longer than usual, in part due to a lack of staffing. TSA workers are calling out. They are under pressure from working without pay because of the month-long partial government shutdown. The Transportation Secretary says 300 TSA agents have actually quit. Union officials add that members just missed their second paycheck in the second government shutdown that they've had to endure in less than 6 months.
To be quite frank, officers are pissed off. And we're not just talking about here in Atlanta, we're talking about nationwide. The officers are pissed off. They want this to end. They're ready to get back to their some normalcy or some consistency within their lives.
So they're not paying people. So the fact that anyone's working TSA is just volunteers. People are quitting. People are not getting checks. Now, I believe they got back checks last time, but even that was something they argued about, right? The last time we had a government shutdown or, whatever the fuck that was. I guess they call them, what is it? What the word did she just use? Partial government shutdowns, partial shutdowns, whatever the fuck. That's rough. That's rough. And I might have to fly. I just found some, family stuff. I might have to fly soon. I don't want to.
It's very different this time.
I already hate flying anyway.
Proximity to the previous shutdown, the 34-day shutdown. So the resources and things that were available, they're just not there anymore.
Let's go now to CNN's Ryan Young, who is at Atlanta International Airport.
You got to go through the whole thing. We get it. Good luck for you if you do have to fly in America next, however long this shutdown lasts. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. Rough business. CNN being profitable? Well, CNN was part of that Warner deal. CNN is owned by Warner. And of course it's not profitable. The company wasn't selling for nothing. I mean, I can't believe a company like Warner even existed to fail like that. You want to talk about a company that was supposed to be too big to fucking fail. And I know I keep harping about it, but it kind of was my favorite company. It's the label that Prince was on. It's what came up with Batman, DC. It had Batman. So, two of my favorite things are already associated with it from Jump and Cartoon Network. Back in the day, WCW. Then you got Turner Basketball. So they just Scooby-Doo. They just always been associated with all these different brands that I like. And they've always been fucking incompetent. Like, so incompetent in how they did take some risks back in the day. Some back in the day. And they used to be a proper company. That's why they were able to acquire so many of the properties. A lot of them were homegrown. Some of them they bought. But even when they bought, they owned DC for a while. You know what I'm saying? So they owned, I think I can't remember about Hanna-Barbera and stuff like that. Honestly, things went downhill after the AOL merger. That was the first big fuck up, was merging with AOL. And I know AOL was the big thing at the time. Now AOL is a relic, but it was such a big thing. The label that Prince was on, and these Gotham vibes, oh boy. Well, there's, it's a major label, major company. There's definitely some stuff going on there. Rest in peace to Prince. But they just had so many, then different movie scenes. They also Lord of the Rings. And that was a risk. You talk about a risk. The more you scroll IG, more you dislike Prince. Prince is the guy. But to each their own. But you want to talk about a risk, because didn't they shoot all three of those movies basically back to back to back? That was a massive risk. And, that was a movie they really gave a director like Peter Jackson and everything all he needed and all that he could possibly want to make, one of, if not the, in some people's minds, greatest trilogies of all time as far as film. And, maybe one of the last, not last overall, but we really think of like a really Hollywood budget, great attention to detail type film. One of the last of those type. You shut that shit down now. Yeah, the Masters thing. Oh, wow. Turned a quarter at Target. Ran into Elijah Wood. Yeah, this Frodo is you. Fucking Frodo. So yeah, they just had so many different fucking properties. Like, goodness. Any one of these are enough to keep the ball. Like I said, also CNN. But they went all in on the anti-Trump thing. They blew a lot of money with Zack Snyder, and then what's the other one that you start blowing money with? James Gunn. He just wasted a bunch of shit. They fucked up the video game side because it also has some video game shit. Not just with, they fucked up the video games with like 3 or 4 games. You got you got the Gotham Knights, you got that Suicide Squad game, and you got really 2 different Mortal Kombats. So you went from this like auto cash cow to kind of we look at 11 and quote unquote Mortal Kombat 1, which was really the 12th one. But it was a reboot. I mean, both of those nowhere near as popular as the ones previous, and so he always looks lost because of those big ass eyes. He was looking for Christmas decorations. Gave out the vibe. Maybe he has it. You know what I mean? He's been a rich dude for a while. Maybe he's just like, I'm gonna have to do the normal thing. I can't just hire a motherfucker to shop for me. Maybe he ain't been in a Target in years. And the first time he's running through a Target, like trying to figure out how normal people are, he sees your crazy ass. I'm following everything DC. Fair enough. I mean, they really internally scorched earth with a lot of bad decisions. I'm thinking about that damaged Joker, that Joker 2, speaking of Joker 2 being a musical, Suicide Squad movie, game. I mean, those are not just Suicide Squad, the Harley Quinn Fantabulous lesbian feminism movie, which apparently wasn't that much lesbian feminism, but they were trying to follow the wave. So they kind of made it afterwards. I'm just thinking about all the different big things. Of course, CNN getting in the politics game, and that backfiring to a huge degree. Kind of creating the in many respects, the reason we have things like the Daily Wire and Nick Fuentes is because of CNN. The backlash of CNN led to the internet growing in massive popularity as a news source or as a political news source. And so, companies like the Daily Wire were there to take advantage of that, and guys like Fuentes, amongst others. You can argue me and Matt tried. a lot of people kind of, once that CNN backlash hit, because, they were politically biased, so people want the other side, and that led to the internet really growing. So a lot of the people, before 2016, I'll say 2015, because that pre-election year is when it started. But before 2015, most people just tossed on CNN and didn't think twice about it. It was background noise. Maybe it's at a barbershop, maybe it's at an airport. That's where a lot of the ratings actually come from anyway. It was like airports and shit. Being the generic, almost something akin to the Weather Channel. There's nothing really on. It's just background noise. They made billions of dollars being background noise. And they wanted to join the political fray. Boy, did it backfire. Yeah, that's true too. Coincidence Crew definitely did fun. Daily Wire. Hey, Tom Jensen, appreciate you being here. Howdy. Mick Foley, that is weird, man. Mick Foley, one of my favorite wrestlers. I have a Mankind cosplay. It's at the hair. I do need to get some wig or something. But he, nothing else WWE has done for 30, 40 years ever pissed him off enough. Well, I said he almost did leave when Owen Hart passed. Was it Owen Hart? No, the screw job, Montreal screw job. He almost left with that. So I don't want it to act like he never had done something like this. But, outside the screwing job, I guess I had it wrong. So Owen Hart's passing didn't make him want to leave. His own body getting thrown off the top of a cage didn't make him want to leave. All the other crazy shit didn't make him want to leave. The first election, didn't make him want to leave. But now he wants to leave. Why? Because he wasn't radicalized in 2016. Because he's I can speak to this. I'm an old motherfucker, so I don't always pay attention to shit when it's happening. So he probably didn't know it was okay. He didn't know he was supposed to hate Trump in 2016 because he's old, probably didn't pay attention, probably didn't give a fuck. And then afterwards, because of 2016 to 2020, everybody had to pick a side in this radical bullshit culture war. And then he picked the left side. So it didn't start to him until 2020. And he's been snuffing that blue gas for 4 years, and now he's I gotta leave now. Oh yeah, that's right too. He was Raw GM because he's probably getting a bigger check. He ain't getting a check from them now, so he's like, I'm not getting a check. I forgot about that. You're right. He was Raw GM in 2016, so he was getting a check from them. That helps things too. So yeah, the absence of a check, the absence of they really haven't used them either. We really think about it. Because when the last time Mick Foley been on TV? He was Raw GM, and before that, they had that, what was that show, Saturday Night Slam or Saturday Morning Slam? So he was still fucking with them back then. That was probably a couple years before 2016, but not like 2014, 2013, 2012, like that era. So he was still in the good graces of the WWE system back then. And now he's not. And I guess, it's always the money. Yeah, you're right. He sure was. I forgot about that. So yeah, fuck what I was talking about. Well, I'm sure that helped, the blue gas, the internet gas. Yup, it's like, yeah, that's right. Damn, what the fuck is going on with the internet?
For this incredible opportunity, and thank you for naming me the general manager of Monday Night Raw right here in Providence, Rhode Island.
Doing a cheap pop. Everybody likes it. Well, which that proves how fake it is, because they give him a check, he'll be back. If they give him a check. They probably not going to give him a check, though. Because I don't know if Triple H ever liked him, even though he helped Triple H get overweight back in the day. Got Sami Zayn, I guess. That's the same. That's the same character, really. The gruffy underdog, whatever the hell. He's supposed to be like the fan. Kevin Owens is kind of like the inverted version of that, where a lot of the fans look like Mick Foley. A lot of fans look like Sami Zayn. Crazy looking beard, But yeah, people want that money. People want that money. And listen, like I said, I was a big Mick Foley fan way back in the day. Yeah. 39 days to the draft. NFL, not military. Who knows what the military draft is, if there is one. Hopefully it's not. Probably 10,000. But, I did see something about why Spotify pays Rogan so much. Because basically those hours, if they were paid out to artists, would have been more. Listen, Spotify should be treated more, even though I do use it a little bit myself. I'm starting to use it a little bit more as a consumer. It should be, if you compare it to the old model, it should be treated more of as a radio replacement and a discovery replacement rather than an income source. And while, again, the radio used to be an income source for songwriters and publishers, which I'm finally officially a publisher, by the way. It took months. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but I'm finally a publisher. So that's cool. I actually got to register my stuff. I got it copywritten, but I got to register. Those are two different things. Then I got this bunch of, got registered to the international publishing shit. It's well the first project and the second project, right? But you did used to make some money off the radio and radio play, especially songwriters. That's where they really got their money. And then a lot of money between the label, mostly a label, and the artist would become off the physical. Now, the problem is, what's the new physical? I think maybe it's still physical. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's still physical. Maybe we are still in the CD business. And yes, we're not selling anywhere near the same amount of CDs, but we're also not selling no CDs. And it's not like there aren't artists. We're starting to see physical media at least come back on a niche level. We know vinyl's still here. We know DVD. I got a stack of DVDs. I'm trying to get more. I'll be hitting up these pawn shops. There is while it's not as ubiquitous and as normalized as it once was, there are people who are buying CD players. There are people who are buying CDs. There are people who are buying artist CDs. So no, you can't sell 10 million copies anymore. But could you sell 1,000 at 15? Yeah, now you done made 15 grand. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you can even sell a little bit more. Maybe people will pay $20 for a CD. So yeah, you can sell CDs. You can't sell as many. And you can sell shirts and you can sell other things. You can also get, one thing I and this is why being the publisher is important. I definitely need to get syncs. That's going to be a huge part. That part of me doing synthwave is to have a non-sample based form of music that I can kind of work on that seems to be popular. People have been doing 80s revival music since I was in high school. Shout out to the Killers. I know most people think of Mr. Brightside. Still, they had a lot of synth based music. So I mean, LCD sound system and shit like that. That was in the 2010s. So it's people, and I love synths. And I still want to buy more. I love synthesizers. So I'm like, okay, let me try to go down this lane to make sure I have something that I can find both creatively fulfilling and like, okay, if I can get a commercial or a video game or a TV show or anything or a fucking land contractor who wants to advertise on YouTube with a cheap commercial, whatever that is, a fucking dentist office, to give me a little bit for some music. Now we are in an AI thing, so AI is going to take a lot of that. Let's just be real. It's hard out here for a musical pimp. But I guess I say I don't know how much Spotify should count in this thing. But I don't know anything. I'm still fucking learning. Let's see. Hey, Forbidden Ruin. No, I'm not signing to Bad Boy Records. Okay, let me see that read message. Who does that beef for Triple K? Fair enough. Dan Houser, mate. Yeah, probably for right now he's good. What the hell is this? Sorry, I'm not showing every single link. I'm not going too deep into every link. I kicked out the first Raw.
You know what's funny?
Oh man, that was a cool. That was my last like really cool era as a fan.
Of power, Foley. Okay.
I forgot about the. I don't know how I forgot about the list. That was the coldest shit. With Kevin Owens with the champ and Jericho.
It's worse than your new fancy pants haircut, man.
Yeah, see that haircut, that's funny because it looks absolutely ridiculous. But you want to talk about him abusing his power? Okay, Exhibit A. A, that's the first letter of the alphabet. You probably don't know that. You giving Roman Reigns another match for my WWE Universal Championship.
Okay, we get it. Shout out to Mick Foley. Shout out to not getting a check. Then I'm dipping. Crazy construction all over Houston. They are trying to get a lot of shit done before the World Cup. When does that start? Not defending Spotify, fair enough. Just pointing out all that he's transphobe and racist pearl clutchers, and pulling music was really about getting paid more, not politics. Definitely true. That is, that's the post. Everything is political wave. Is you can, at least attempt to hide your grievance behind a political reason, and then people look at you. The people who are political sheep, they look at it as you've done something positive or negative, right? For them. What's this? Oh, I forgot about 24/7 too. What happened with Pittsburgh ruin? Were they in Pittsburgh? We were talking about Houston. Houston had this crazy rodeo at the same time as the spring break, and it led to just places being ungodly packed. Pittsburgh doing that, the draft in Pittsburgh. It's weird that now the draft has become a big event. You go back in the day, they used to just be in, was it Madison Square Garden secondary room? I think it was. Like, it wasn't the main where the Knicks played, but like one of the other rooms. And they would just do it. And, they had ESPN, and that was it. And then, I don't know, in the past 5-10 years, it's become like a party where it's like a big event. They go to the stadium, they have all the people. I know they did it in Detroit. I think they did it in Green Bay. Yeah, they made it this overproduced thing. They have these WWE entrances. It's like, this is really weird. I don't really like watching the draft, honestly. Because one, you don't really, let's be honest, 99% of these players end up not even that good. You know what I'm saying? Most of the draft. That's why, some people talk about, at least for the NBA, going to the soccer system and just abolishing the draft and letting clubs just sign whoever they want. I think they should go to that system. I don't think the draft helps. I don't think, if you consider how many people, Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick. 199 players were picked before him, and he's considered one of the greatest players. That should tell you that the draft doesn't mean anything when it comes to picking the best talent. That this idea that you're actually making things fairer, you're not. You need the people who can assess talent the best. Because even if you give them the best pick, they're not going to always pick the best player. And in fact, the entire league can miss out on the best player multiple times. That's how it is. So I don't think the draft really helps. I think the draft overhypes. It overhypes the combine, and it overhypes schools that are good at playing college football. And so you go to a school, for years, it's just, okay. And listen, Alabama did have a lot of good players, so I'm not going to say everybody. But, he's like, all right, if you go to Alabama, you just get drafted because you went to Alabama. Or if you go to, and it's like that, maybe they're a little bit safer for a few years because they did produce a lot of talented players. But it's the same, well, you go to Ohio State, if you go to even Michigan, you go to one of these big schools, USC, you just get drafted because you went there. Are you good? We find out, sometimes you were put in such a good situation in college because everybody was so talented around you that you look better than what you really are. And that happens all the time to the point where there's no even point of this shit. You might as well let teams just pick who they want outside of the the draft system, and whoever gets the best players gets the best players. I've been trolling Pittsburgh and the Oscars on Facebook, and getting timed out 24 hours at a time. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Oscars. I had no interest in the Oscars. That's not, I've lost interest even before, recent years. I don't really like award shows. What relevance does any award show have? I can't trust the internal thinking of an award show. I don't know that this is the best picture or the best album or the best whatever. I just know that that's what y'all said. So I'm not an award show guy. Let me see. The draft increased the odds of signing a player. It's going to bust. Really? That's exactly what it does. And yeah, look at the Jets. How many times they get the number one pick a QB, destroy his career? Shout out to Sam Darnold for being able to escape it. Geno Smith is back for more, which is crazy. Need to get a few odds and ends at the store, and it's been snowing. Surprise snow, I see. It's been cold here in Houston, at least colder. Power was out 14 hours. Went next door, got high, had burgers with the neighbors. That's pretty cool. All right, peace out, homeboys. Peace out, Sentient. Talk to you later. I always appreciate when you show up. None is browbeating the viewers, virtual sitting. I didn't know the Oscar was happening. I don't see, we're talking about some of the scummiest, most disgusting people on the fucking face of the earth in Hollywood, giving themselves an award and patting themselves on the back. Well, a lot of movies we didn't watch, and I know we didn't watch because this is one of the worst years as far as box office has been in years. And that's not even accounting for inflation. You count inflation, who knows how bad of a year this really was. And, even inflation in and of itself is never calculated properly. So, I mean, this is quite literally probably the worst box office year we've had, or at least the worst box office era the past 5 years, probably ever, or at least in my lifetime. So we didn't watch these movies. I did see Sinners. I thought it was a cool movie. I'm glad I saw it before the hype. I happened to see it the first weekend. I didn't have any expectations going into it, and it was a cool movie. I don't know if it lived up to the hype. Just like, I talk about Dread and have everybody glaze Dread. And when I saw it, I'm like, this is the most average, basic motherfucking movie. And so, hype sometimes can kill things. If I had saw that movie after all the hype with Sinners, I don't know that I would feel the same. But I saw it when I saw it. I enjoyed it. It was a fun, pretty cool movie. I didn't expect it to be like a phenomenon. And good on them for it. And I think Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor. He plays two characters in the movie, two brothers. I don't know if he deserved it. I didn't watch none of the movies. I'm assuming he did. Good for him. Congrats. I mean, but wish him the best, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know what other movies he was competing against. I don't know what anything else won. I just saw him at In-N-Out, and I guess that's a thing where the Best Actor winner goes to In-N-Out in Hollywood. I don't know. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette is a newspaper office in Pittsburgh, shutting down permanently this year and virtue signaling so hard. People are trolling. That's great. Every time I troll Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, you get tied out for a day. It's a weird timeout. He's into Fate. Michael B. Jordan's into Fate anime. I'm not familiar with Fate, but I'm not familiar with a lot of anime. But that's cool. And virtual signaling, in what way are they doing it? Like newspaper matters, journalism matters thing? These newspapers really are getting what they fucking deserve, honestly, because they're the ones who didn't want to be journalists. They're the ones who wanted to be sensationalists, and they couldn't even be blogs. They couldn't do anything. A lot of them are failing because of it. Everybody wanted to be a snarky columnist. Trump bad, and then everybody wants to jump into the political Trump bad. I know I did too. I guess I was more blue hair bad, but whatever the case. A lot of people are going to have to, pro-gay, anti-Trump, pro-Iran. all kinds of stuff. I wonder how this whole war thing is going to play out. I want it to stop. I know it's not going to. And hell, I mean, I don't want to say I'm pro Iran, but I don't necessarily think we should have attacked them. But I'm also not an expert, but it does seem a little that we're just doing what Israel tells us to do. It doesn't seem like this was our fight to enter in. I'll say that much. Though, again, I ain't, especially this week, the last thing I give a shit about is Iran, no disrespect. Not into the Fate Stag at Night or any of the Nasuverse properties. Again, I'm not 100% familiar with them. But, shout out to anime's become more popular, so, more and more the mainstreamification of it. They seem to let the journalists do whatever they want because they are shutting down. Well, journalists don't want to journal. They just all want to be or actual journalize or be journalists. Like, they don't want to document things or dig into things. They all just want to be snarky Twitter users. They just want to comment snarky pro-blue propaganda on Twitter because that's what a lot of them learned at the end of the 2010s or at the end of the 2000s into the 2010s and throughout the 2010s when they were in college. That's what they learned journalism was. So the idea of actually reporting objectively, the idea of actually investigative journalism, all these concepts, as far as mainstream or even local level journalism, all that shit died out. And it died out probably before even that, but they got that as a substitute. Oh, if you're the pro-blue, pro-feminist, pro-LGBTQ2T plus, and I'm not trying to fuck it up on purpose. I don't know. But yeah, and then you be snarky on Twitter because Twitter is so important. It's the voice. That's journalism to them. If you were 20 in 2009, how old was I? I was like a little older than that. Such an old fart. But to a lot of kids that were like 18 to 20 in 2009, doing mushrooms and upping their body count to the triple digits at some bullshit ass college, they thought that this was their version of being an investigative journalist, being, pro-feminist, pro-whatever, and really snarky on Twitter. It was the new way to be on the cutting edge of the right side of history. And it turned out, no, it really wasn't. But that's what they were sold. And now they got, thousands in debt, no job at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. So that's what happened. So yeah, snarkers, these people are getting paid to post this shit. They won't be long. It don't sound like it won't be long. So yeah, I mean, I remember the hipster era. We were young. I remember that hipster era. This was that was a part of it. You remember Occupy? While there's still, you can still argue there's some genuine things about what the Occupy movement started out with. And, while we're not blaming the CIA, we talked about don't blame the CIA for a lot of bullshit we just saw at the Houston thing. If there is a non-blaming the CIA, even though I definitely think Occupy was co-opted, it was also co-opted by the trender, the I want to hop on a wave motherfucker. Just like the Coney. Remember Coney? Speaking of things that in that era had that what am I trying to call this? There's a phrase for it. Slacktivism. Maybe that's the best. I don't know if that was the right phrase, but I think that conveys what I mean. This slacktivism wave where people want to be seen as if they're doing something for the people, man. But they don't really want to do anything. They don't really want to investigate. They just want the simplest performative way of feeling like they're a part of changing the system, man. Sluttivism. I mean, yeah, there's some of that too. If you guys remember the Black Lives Matter OnlyFans model, was a white girl in Portland, one of the whitest areas on earth, and she was stripping, in the middle of the street for Black Lives Matter. So that's a part of the wave too. Remember a meme post about the CIA isn't responsible for the majority of what they get blamed? Maybe they do get too much blame. Maybe they do. There is some blame. You know, Richard, if you're still here, I'll give you that. There is some blame the consumer. You know, because I definitely, as much as I think something like the Occupy and some of these things do get some bad actors and some feds to co-opt them, there's also that crowd, especially the post-social media crowd. No, she was chopped as fuck. She looked crazy. She wasn't attractive. No, she wasn't. I wasn't going to say anything, but no, she was not. So that's why we didn't go look for it. It was not a sight to see. It was very unappealing looking bitch. No disrespect. She looked like kind of like hairy and like she stink. She looked crazy. I don't remember specifically what she looked, but I remember her looking crazy. You can look her up if you want. But I remember her looking crazy and chopped and like unappealing to all the senses type shit. But yeah, you know, CIA gets their share of blame. They deserve some of it. Do they deserve all of it? I don't know. Some of the societal stuff, you know, if Richard was here, maybe it isn't. There's that blame the consumer. There is some to blame the individual for going along with it. And then sometimes self-blame of, hey, maybe all the individuals didn't go along and you're getting a narrative, but you're accepting that narrative because that's what you see on social media, on traditional media. It's very easy to get narratives and forget how few, you know, you could think, oh, man, the world is more violent now because you go on social media and see a bunch of fights. And it's like, well, no, just more of these fights get broadcasted. People got into fights all the time. People used to get into bar fights every fucking weekend. You know what I mean? You go back to like the 50s. Motherfuckers got into bar fights every week. Like they would they would go to a bar, get into a fight, and just go back to their family and just, you know, forget who they got in a fight with. Next week they might be drinking with the same motherfucker and I didn't realize they got into a fight the week before. Now part of that is the alcohol culture. Motherfuckers is getting so much drunker than we are now. Because that's a new thing too. Despite the collective livers of Houston right now that are probably not doing that well, alcohol is way down. Shout out to again Gen Z. They don't drink like we did and like the previous generations did. So good for them. Now there is that there are some who are doing harder drugs, but still percentage wise, less Gen Zers do drugs or alcohol than before. But like I said, unfortunately, some of the ones that do, they are getting fucked up. So there's that. But what do you want? You know, I just got to commend the positive that you're starting to see less and less kids drink. I remember alcohol culture. I didn't really drink as a youth, and I remember alcohol culture was so huge. Like everybody drunk and everybody has to drink, and if you don't drink or don't want to be around drunk people act like there was something wrong with you. Or if you, oh man, you know, I don't really drink. Oh, okay, why? You know, you alcoholic before you recover? Like no, I just like you couldn't just objectively not want to drink for some reason. That was like a weird thing to people, and it's good that we're starting to kind of get out of that that culture and out of that way of thinking. I wonder what the alcohol companies are gonna do, honestly. Because that's something, you know, I never in a million years thought we would ever drink less alcohol as a society, but it looks like we are. So what does that mean long term for a lot of the alcohol? You know, I thought of the alcohol companies, like the cigarette companies, like the pharmaceutical, like, you know, just one of these brands of company that can do no wrong, can do whatever it wants. So it's like, okay, now that this huge, we're starting to see the end of youth culture be associated with alcohol, how the fuck do they recover long term? That's going to be a kind of a crazy thing. I don't know if they pivot into other brands. I mean, a lot of alcohol already has. Between 99 and 05, got all your drinking out of your system. I rarely drink. Yeah, I don't really drink that much. I know this home process made me want to, but I may have had a shot. There's still some alcohol in this house, but I don't. The pandemic got me drinking more than I ever had before or since. Since I moved here, since I moved to Texas, my drinking slowed. I was still drinking in 2022 and 23, but it started to slow up. And last year I didn't really drink much. I got drunk on New Year's Eve going into last year, and that was pretty much it. Maybe one time. Man, I say one time. You know, I did buy a bottle of Buffalo Trace. And then, you know, really what got me into drinking was kind of there was like a whiskey trend amongst millennials. And living in Charlotte, and I started to really like bourbon. And I still actually do, you know, if I had a bourbon, I would, and drunk it, I would enjoy it, right? I do enjoy bourbon. But I've been just trying, you know, part of it, I'm trying to get healthy. I got too much weight on me. You see what just eating shitty does to the liver, and then you add alcohol on top of it. It's like, God damn, motherfucker. Like, you're cooking me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to, and then speaking of health thing, you know, I sometimes talk about it, going to the gym. I'm starting to research a high dose vitamin D for all the benefits that it has with sleep and mental health and even fat loss and amongst others, like healing people from different diseases. And I'm trying to get to a healthy place. So I was like, I'm not really, I do still smoke. But yeah, the drinking, I'm trying to do as little as possible. Not that I would never drink again. Not that I look at myself as some crazy alcoholic, but it just, it just wasn't my thing. My tagline on Tinder is I provide vitamin D. Yeah, pause for vitamin D. I probably should pause. But no, you actually look it up. There's a lot of health benefits. You know, take your D3. That's crazy. Don't drink anymore. But I don't drink any less. Yeah, I don't, you know. If it was something to celebrate, I'll definitely have something to drink. Yeah, that's great. Provide vitamin D. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. Even though, you know, zinc, protein, these things are good for you. Pause. But yeah, I've been that's something y'all can do your own research on stuff. Then again, it's the internet. Who knows? You know, the internet is a place of trends where people, this is the new thing, and everyone does this. You know, everyone does. I remember when plant-based was a big trend. Now it's carnivore. Now it's, you know, do keto. And I was, just do this, do that. So really, you got to just find your own way when it comes to health. You know, because you got to find whatever you're going to fucking consistently do. Because if you're not going to do anything consistent, then, you know, doesn't really matter. Don't know why so many people are concerned with poisoning themselves. If you talk about alcohol, like I said, you start to see people not. Less and less people are. I don't know how. I can tell you growing up, it was just this ubiquitous part of the culture, the ubiquitous part of life. The idea was, you know, socially, everyone drunk. Everyone went to parties to drink. And I didn't drink until I was in my 20s. And I never really had I never really went bar crazy. There's nothing to do. Yeah. Maybe the answer is internet. There was always nothing to do. If you're in the pre-internet age, pre-ubiquitous video game age, on a Saturday night, there's nothing to do in your small town. Let's go get a 6-pack. Or let's get a bottle. Or let's go to the club. Or let's go to a bar. Or let's go do this. Where now it's like, hey, we could just all play Fortnite. Or we could just all watch videos or watch streams or or do whatever the fuck. You don't have to even leave your house, or we can all just go over to one person's house and hang out there or whatever. But there's a lot more options of stuff to do than even go out. I mean, shit. Despite what I just showed earlier with all the Houston things, you know, a few years ago, there was a lot of people worried about the Houston nightlife falling off. in the post-pandemic world, and there's still a lot of places where the nightlife really has fallen off because people don't really go out as much in general. Going out was thought of, okay, there's nothing to do. I'll go out and we'll go out to do this and we'll go out to do that. Yeah, we could go out in the streets of Houston and act crazy. Let's do that. Hey, Scrambles, appreciate you being here. There's nothing in Pittsburgh that makes me want to go out and do that thing. Fair enough. Just stay home and drink. Fair enough. So yeah, it was just a thing. It was a thing, and I'm kind of glad that you know, someone younger, like, well, what is even the point? What is even the point? It was just a thing that everyone did because everyone did it. And you know what? As much as people talk about, and there's definitely some truth into it, the past 10 to 20 years, maybe a little more, maybe just the post-millennial, post-99 years of, the mental illness. Everybody's a narcissist, everybody's autistic. Everybody's depressed. Everybody's anxiety. Everybody's got some self-diagnosed. Oh, I got ADHD, self-diagnosed, whatever. There is a lot of mental illness that instead of go to a doctor and get treatment, people would go to a bar and get liquor. It was a way of self-medicating a lot of different ailments that now people will address a little bit more head on, for better or for worse. Now, obviously, I say for better or for worse because we also are in the, here's a pill for this problem, pill for that problem. So, in many ways, we've just traded problems off en masse. But at the same time, not everybody can even afford to do that because insurance ain't cheap. So for those who can afford, instead of just defaulting to liquor, they're doing something else. So there is some positives to that. Like I said, less people drinking is a good thing for society. Less people doing drugs, less people inebriating themselves, I think is a good thing long term. Even as somebody who's not always sober myself, I don't think we should be in a drugged out society. I'm afraid of doctors. First thing I do when I enter a room is offer up a pill for that. Yeah, that's why I've always been a little bit more into the alternative medicine thing. It's I'm on Instagram and I see not Justin Trudeau, but Kevin Trudeau, who was one of the first naturopathic what would I call them? Ambassadors, advocates that I've ever seen. He had this book, Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. And that literally created the health craze to me, or the modern health craze. That's when people started to get into juicing in a big way. That's when people started to get into different vitamins as, natural cures, natural things. It was the mainstreamification of that back in the 2000s. I think he actually went to jail because of some kind of like bullshit, but he's not in jail anymore. So sometimes, I've seen him on Instagram and he'll have interesting things. There's a lot of actually, like Dr. Berg, there's a lot of interesting natural doctors. Dr. Stan, is it Ecklerberg or something like that? Best part of juice, well, not that type of juice, which there's people who aren't always in favor of what I'm talking about, where fruit juice, you make your own fruit juice at home because it doesn't always include the fiber. It could be high on sugar depending on what you're putting together and how much you're drinking. You find your problems change when you smoke. I mean, I do like smoking weed, I'm not going to lie. And where'd you see that we have proof that Bigfoot isn't real, Fizz? If you got a link, I'll check it out. Best part of juicing. That's another thing that's a wave, is they got TRT clinics. I said if I lose my hair, and I got braids right now, and my hairline is not that great. Once the hairlines go, I may experiment with a TRT clinic. But I want to be in good shape. Before I try that. So that would be like at least a couple years off. But now that I'm getting close to the age, and I mean, you know, you can get something. If you want some shit, one of these TRT clinics is going to give you that good stuff. So it's like, you know, be worth just trying it out to see what happens. Forbidden Ruin has a wild story. Says his dad had passed, stashed guns all over the house, still find them. Wow. Gigantopithecus? Oh, shit. Stash gun. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. It's almost like I can't remember who said it was like a joke. Like, I understand how Americans have guns, so they put a gun in the dresser and then they go over, well, what if the person's there and put a gun behind the TV? And then, like, what if the person there, put a gun under the table and shit like that. So he just had, for any situation, no matter what room he was in, he could just, he could grab some in case he needed to. That's crazy. Oh, man, 733 Smith & Wesson. It's a double action 6-shot revolver. Double action 6-shot. That's crazy. Have ammo for it. I got to get a pistol. I don't move into the more, even more suburban area, but still, I got to get a pistol. I got to get a pistol and get to the range. I have to, like, be prepared in case something happens. I don't want to just, you know, somebody just run up on me. I got to be prepped. The Patterson Gremlin film originally capturing the Bigfoot has been confirmed as a hoax. Well, behind the scenes rehearsal footage included in a documentary coming out. Wow. Bigfoot hoax. I wasn't familiar with necessarily the Patterson Gremlin film, but damn, the people was lied to. I wonder if it's just, you know, there's a few of these. Oh yeah, that's that's basically the ubiquitous account of the Bigfoot, and it was fake. Crazy work. You're talking about this. Everybody's seen this. It was fucking fake. Crazy work. The filmmakers were Roger Patterson, 72, and Bob Gimlin. Patterson died of cancer in 72, maintained right to the end that the creature on the film was real. His friend Gimlin has always denied being involved in any part of the hoax. He avoided publicity until about 2005. So that's crazy work. I'm trying to see is the documentary mentioned in this article. So I'm skimming through it. There's a lot, man. There's a lot of stuff on this. I never really dug into the Bigfoot. I know that's, you know, I'm a conspiracy. I don't see anything on it. I may have skipped over it. As much as I'm a conspiracy theory stuff, I think the more interesting stuff was the inner workings of government, the Illuminati, the rituals, and all that crazy stuff. And I've done so much research on it and none of it is relevant anymore. And then it's you know, with this post Epstein, and even that Epstein is just a just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, with all the stuff that's really going on in that world. But I never got into Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster. I guess somewhat aliens, but there's a chance that those are demons as well. Documentary is called Capturing Bigfoot. Okay, it's only been released in Texas. Okay, it's released locally then. What kind of Bigfoot claim is this? No. And going back to the Smith & Wesson, it's manufactured between 73 and 86. Guns everywhere for the win, yeah. Well, he didn't. I guess he don't need to worry about Bigfoot. NASA saying we're going back to the moon means they're going to fly around the moon in return. What? I know one of these streams, maybe even the last one, I talked about the Challenger being bullshit. Capturing Bigfoot reports new information about the often cited 67 film clip, the Patterson-Gimlin film, and the men who filmed it. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin. Capturing Bigfoot is based on revealing foot given to Mark Evans in 2024. Locked away in the safe. And as well as interviews with Cliff Patterson, as well as 80-year-old men associated with the film. Oh, man. After the death of her father, Norm Johnson, Olympic College film instructor Teresa Brooks reached out to the filmmaker and colleague Mark Evans with a reel of 16mm film she found in a locked safe of her father's. Norm Johnson had been working in a Boeing lab during the years that the Patterson-Gimlin film, sorry I keep mispronouncing his name, was made, and connected to Patterson and Gimlin through Johnson's brother Dave. Evans developed the film and discovered a 40-second clip created in '66, a year before the film, and it shows a dress rehearsal of a skinnier Bigfoot walking through a wooded area similar to the later Patterson-Gimlin film. Evans realized what he was looking at was rehearsal footage. Evans was surprised to discover that the son was willing to talk, but found that he had been contemplating a tell-all book when he was approached. I see Cliff's father had died when he was 12 of Hodgkin lymphoma and had lied to his son about the footage. Cliff learned from his mother about 10 years prior to that Bigfoot sighting was a hoax, which weighed on the younger Patterson. He wanted to come clean to the public, but his mother, upset about the loss of income, disowned her son. Holy shit. So this is oh man, I'm going to have to check this out. Crazy stuff. I guess I'll read the last article in the background. Evans leaned on interviews with Yakima, Washington residents who had known the filmmakers in that era, including some 80-something-year-old Bob Hieronymus, who confessed to being an individual wearing the fake Bigfoot suit in the film. Wow. Also interviewed for the documentary was anthropologist Jeffrey Meldrum, Matt Moneymaker. What the fuck? That's not his real name. From Bigfoot Research Organization, when informed the new footage releasing would show the Patterson-Gimlin's film as a hoax. He said this sort of chicanery has been going on since the 90s. The film itself debunks any attempt to debunk it. Okay, so crazy work that the mom disowned the kid. They're claiming it's fake. I'm going to train a robot to kill other robots because you never know. Yeah, yes, you never know. So they're going to orbit the moon and come back. That's productive. Why not land on it again? Programming to be like the Highlander and tell itself there can only be one. Oh, man. But that's crazy. That's crazy. Wow, it shows no viewers. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I lost everybody with the Bigfoot talk, but we're getting to the hour and a half mark. So I'm going to go ahead and call it for the night anyway. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. Sorry about not being here yesterday. I just need sleep. It shows 4 people here. Well, it's 4 more than it shows me. It shows 0. 0. I can even show you guys. See here, concurrent viewers, 0. So I don't know. I appreciate y'all watching though. Appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully we can up these streams later on in the year. I'm thinking about getting a clip editor. I'm not sure. The thing is, do I have enough? Most of my streams I don't feel like have that much clippable content, but clips are what bring people to the yard, so to speak. So I have to do more. Couldn't be here last night. You had no power, I see. I'm sorry about that. I'm glad your power's on now. Because I just needed sleep, so I just slept through it. And It is what it is. But I appreciate everybody. Yeah, lives. I think it's at least 4 people because at least 3 of y'all in the chat. Let me see. Sometimes the participants. And I guess I'm the 4th person. So, in any event, as we're getting high around 10 p.m., the power start cutting on. Oh, no, it is 4 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Sometimes Jensen, Forbidden Ruin, Brandon Hollum, and Fizz. But it shows 0. That's crazy. They be lying to me. You're still in 1 FBI. Now it just shows 6. The lies. I was lied to. Fuckers have no idea why we didn't have power. They went looking for the outage. But hopefully the power stays stable here. Hopefully it stays stable here. I don't know why it's been pretty windy and cold the past couple of days. And I haven't been paying too much attention to the weather. But we are still going to get out of here, even though there's more people who went to 0 to 6 in no seconds. So that's a very weird. Very sneaky, sis. Very sneaky. But we're close to the hour and a half mark. I'll try to be back again in the week. FBI number 6 period stopped talking. They disappeared again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the views. YouTube fuckery is afoot. Yeah, we can just prove. That's some proof. I'll be thinking, oh man, ain't nobody. Who knows how many people be really watching this shit? I could have 30 people watching. I wouldn't know. I mean, unless they're gonna show up in the chat. That's the only way for me to confirm that you're watching. And I know not everybody likes to chat. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna try to show up, and hopefully I can get a stream in earlier. Believe it or not, every day I say I want to get a stream in earlier than 11. I feel like that's too late. And every fucking day I fuck it up. Every day I fuck it up. So hopefully we can get a little earlier, maybe around 9. I can start these streams around 9. Maybe there'll be more people up. In any event, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Good night. God bless. I will talk to all you guys later. Peace.